If you want to know the first step to getting A1 credit, you're in the right place. Stay tuned. Step 1 to getting the A1 credit that no one seems to really talk about is accuracy. One of the most important things to getting good credit is that your information is accurate. How will a creditor approve your credit if they can't prove you are you? We all know that identity theft is at an all-time high. It's been that way for maybe 7 to 10 years. And the creditors know that as well. So sometimes we're not even told you're denied credit because there's some conflicting information on your credit reports, or it's just not clear. If your name is Jan or Joan or Joanne, or you've been married, or your parents got married, you got 2 different last names, you just need to make sure it's accurate. Start with making sure your credit report is accurate. You can start by this. Get a copy of your credit report. You get one free every year, complimentary one. If you don't want to go old school and get a piece of paper, which I would, I like to see things in my hand, especially, when my finances are at stake. Then join Credit Karma or Credit Sesame and really examine your credit report. When I say examine, I mean from top to bottom. I mean the first letter, the first number at the top. Examine that, and then you read every single thing to make sure your birthday is really 1992 and not 1993. You need to make sure it is exact, because when you start applying for those credit cards and vehicles and new homes and investment properties you plan on buying, you want to make sure it's accurate so you're less likely to be denied. Step 1, get a copy of your credit report. First thing to look at, make sure your name is correct. Make sure there are not multiple versions of your name. The middle initial versus the middle name, or no initial at all. And if those things are inaccurate, contact every agency and you have that corrected. Number 2, your address. Make sure your address is correct. Make sure there are no addresses on there that you are not familiar with, that you've never lived at. That includes P.O. boxes. If they are not yours, have those deleted. You don't want to look, like you are transient when you're trying to purchase things. What should be on there is where you were born, the house you were living in when you were maybe 18, and then when you moved out, whatever those addresses are. If any of it is incorrect, contact them and have it deleted. Date of birth. There are multiple date of births. Please have those updated, because if the computer doesn't match, these are not people approving you now. It's a computer, and things need to match up when they're communicating with each other. So have that deleted. Then go to those accounts. Make sure those accounts are yours. If they're not yours, deny them. Contact each agency and let them know, this is not my account. Please remove it immediately. There's a myth that inquiries don't have that much of an impact on your credit. Any negative impact, we want corrected. If there are any inquiries on your credit report that you do not recognize, ask for them to be deleted. If they are more than 2 years old, demand that they are deleted. Fixing those few little things, just the little inaccuracies, will help improve your score, and it will also help you more likely to get approved by the computer system, because it can match up the right person. That is the number one thing to making sure we're increasing the odds of you being approved. Then you go back and you check the accounts that you do know belong to you, and you make sure that every single payment is there that you've paid, that is accurate. If you haven't had any lates, contact that creditor and the credit reporting agency. Correct this on my credit history. Even if it's just one late, demand that is removed. You want to paint the best picture that you can to the creditor that you're asking to loan you money for whatever transaction you're in the process of. Make sure your history is accurate, that it's really you, that your address is correct, that only the accounts that belong to you are on your credit report. Get rid of as many inquiries as you can that do not belong to you or not familiar to you. Because sometimes you apply for something and they send your information, like when you get a mortgage sometime, 3 or 4 or 5 different companies. If they do not disclose that to you, even with a vehicle, the companies you don't recognize, deny, dispute, get those removed. You don't want to look like you are shopping around trying to get credit like you're desperate or something. Get those things removed. These things are number one when you are starting or trying to build or rebuild credit. People are like, I got denied. Well, you got 3 addresses on there from college, 2 from when you was in some other city. It's apartment 301, then it's apartment 205. You only really lived at 205. Get those things off. Get those things off your credit report and get it as streamlined and as accurate as possible. Okay. Once you contact the credit reporting agency to get those things corrected, at least give them 30 days to correct it and then update it, and you check it again. If it's still not correct, you go back. You go back to make sure they fix your history. They don't have a vested interest in helping you. This is all about you. I tell people, when you're starting to build or rebuild, this is almost like, a little part-time job. Take the time to fix you. So when you get out there and you start asking for money, for vehicles, for cars, or just lines of credit, you are less likely to get denied. Once it's all corrected, if you don't have a credit history, you're going to have to build yourself a credit history. You're going to have to do that. And we just got to face it. We don't have a history, or we destroyed it with bankruptcy. You got to face it. First thing you can do is get your secured credit card. I know. People's like, why do I have to give them money to establish my credit? Because we don't know if you're going to pay them back. They don't know. So get you a secured credit card. Interest rate may be a little high, but the goal is not really to use the card. It's just to hold it. Use it just a little, maybe for your Netflix account, to start your credit history to build, so that in time you can get that money back, and then they will give you an unsecured credit. So, how many credit lines do I need? How many variety of credit lines do I need? 10. I would say 10 is the minimum. And when you use them, pay them off the next month. Constantly watch your utilization to make sure you're not over. They say 33%, I say 30%. Okay. Constantly watching. If you got to use it for something, we get it. But if you charge up, let's say $2,700, make sure you got credit out there equaling at least half will be 27. So make sure you got credit available. I would say about $4,000 still available. If you're going to use $2,700, have about $5,000 still available cumulative on your other cards. Okay, it's not just that card, it's cumulative. Just so watch that, especially if you're in the process of purchasing a home or purchasing a vehicle. You got to watch the utilization. If you're not, then do what you have to do, and of course pay them off every month if you can, and if not, make at least more than the minimum payment every month. Okay, I posted a video, and it's about getting credit cards by using the shopping cart method, the incognito method. Once you get all your information accurate to the best of your ability, make sure it's accurate. Then you watch my other video, which I'll post a link up here, called the incognito shopping cart trick. High percentage rate of working, and the credit cards are unsecured. So we'll be off to a good start. We got us some unsecured cards. Then we're going to get us we get secured credit cards, and then we're going to get us some unsecured credit cards. We do all this in 6 months. You off to a great start to rebuilding or building your credit again. Good luck on your credit venture. I'm here with you. I love credit. I love educating people on credit. I know how to rebuild it. I will tell you everything I know and then some. Thank you so much for coming to my channel.